Hey guys. All right, welcome to Unit 4, Lesson 4. We are going to be in our journal, so open up your second quarter journal. It's a journal with the blue cover, and we need to update our table of contents. So on your table of contents, we are on Unit 4, Lesson 4, and this is interpreting slope and y-intercept. And we're going to link that to slide 13. We're on slide 13. And apply. Okay, so go to slide 13. Here we are, Unit 4, Lesson 4. So you need to make sure your journal is up to date. All of the Unit 4 slides I gave you at the beginning of Unit 4. So in Canvas, on Unit 4, the top of Unit 4, there's Unit 4 journal slides. You can copy those over to your journal. If you need help copying journal slides over, go back to this video and watch this video, Unit 4, Lesson 1. I gave you instructions on how to copy those over. Make sure your journal's up to date. We're going to have a journal quiz at the end of the 9 weeks. I'm not going to give you my journal this 9 weeks. I'm not posting it for you to double check everything's okay, so you need to be keeping up with it. You need to be watching the videos, okay? All right, interpreting slope and y-intercept. Here we go. Oh, that says slope and intercept. Sorry, I wrote the title wrong. Okay. So here we go. Adrienne is a hairstylist at a new age salon. She pays a monthly fee to rent a station at the salon. The graph below represents the profit she makes each month based on the number of haircuts she performs. Okay, so first let's talk about a few things. Let's define some words. So she's a hairstylist. She works at a salon. She pays a monthly fee to rent a station. So that means she works in a salon and she has her station where she has all her, little scissors and her straighteners and curling irons and blow dryers and her chair. And she has to pay the owner of the salon rent to be able to have her station there. Okay, so every single month she has to pay rent to maintain her station, to be able to keep her station. If she's not paying rent, the owner's gonna be like, bye, Adrienne, you can't work here no more. Okay, she has to pay rent to have that station. The graph represents the profit. So what does profit mean? First, let's define that. What does profit mean? Profit is the money she's making after she has paid her bills. Okay? So profit is the amount of money she's making after she has paid her bills. Once all her bills are paid, so she's making all this money every single day, she has to take all the money she made for the month, pay her bills, and then she has the leftover. And that's the profit. What's left over after her bills, that's the profit. Okay? So now we've defined that. Let's answer some questions. So it says, if Adrienne does 21 haircuts, what is her profit? Well, let's see. My x-axis tells me the number of haircuts. That's what it says here. My y-axis tells me the amount of profits, the money we are making, actually bringing home after we've paid all our bills. So I want to know when 21 haircuts. So at 21 haircuts, let's see, this goes 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 haircuts. I'm going to go up to this line, and that is $150. So she makes $150 after 21 haircuts. Does that mean that she only made $150 for 21 haircuts? No, that's her profit. So after she's paid all her bills for those 21 haircuts, then she made $150. That's her play money. That's the money she gets to go do whatever she wants with because she's already paid all her bills. Okay? All right, and then it says, what's the slope of the line? So slope, we can do rise over run. I like to pick 2 points and do it in my calculator. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull my iPad up so that I can write down and say what I'm talking about here. Sorry, guys. I always don't have this ready whenever I'm making my video. Okay, so I like to put this in my calculator because like, for example, looking at this graph, let me move this over this way. Looking at this graph, it's going up by 50s instead of ones. And so that changes my rise, right? My rise is 50 for each line instead of 1. And then I run, this is rising, this is increasing this way by 3s. So my run would be by 3. So this would be 50 over 3. And sometimes that's hard to remember that I have to pay attention to this side of the line. So I like to just pick 2 points and set it up as a table. So that's what I'm going to do over here. Oops. Okay, let me drag this way a little bit so we can see what I'm writing here. Okay, so I got set up my table and I'm going to write my x's and my y's, and then I'm going to put it in the calculator and let the calculator do all the thinking for me, okay? So my first point right here is, this is not my first point, this is just a point on the graph, right? This is a point. So this point is the first one I noticed, is my x value is 12 and my y value is 0, right? That's the point 12, 0. Then I can pick another point. I'm just going to go to this one right here. And that point is my x value is 15, my y value is 50. I've got 2 points. I can figure out my slope from using the calculator. So now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to clear my calculator. Second plus 7, 1, 2, clears my calculator. Whoops. Second plus 7, 1, 2, there we go. Okay. Remember, in my calculator, I can do stat. This takes forever, this calculator slow. Edit, and it gives me my table. So now I'm going to take my x values, I'm going to put them in L1. I'm going to take my y values and put them in L2. So at L1, I have 12 and 15. And then I'm going to go over to L2, and I'm going to type in 0 and 50. Okay. You guys all have, if you have a Chromebook, you have a TI calculator on your Chromebook. So make sure you're using this calculator on your Chromebook. Now we can do stat, go over to calc, go down to 4, and hit enter all the way down to calculate. And it tells me that my slope of this line is 16.66666666 repeating. So I'm going to go back to the home screen if I do second mode, and I'm going to do 16. Take the one. 16.6, and that 6, the 7 at the end just means that the 6 is going to keep going forever and ever and ever, right? I'm going to turn it into a fraction because, you know, we like our, I clicked it a bunch of times and now it's going to just keep going forever. Okay. We like our slope to be in rise over run, right? That makes it easy when it's a fraction. So I'm going to do math, enter, and it gives me my slope. My slope is 50 over 3. Okay. So 50 over 3. So we could figure that out from our graph, right? We saw here if we rose 1, that was actually rising 50. So I rose 50 and I ran 12 to 15 was 3, difference of 3. So I rose 1, I ran 3. And 50 over 3, that's what I got. But please be careful doing rise over run because you have to pay attention to what your x-axis and y-axis are increasing by. If you want to do it this way, you're always going to be accurate if you use calculator. Just pick 2 points, plug them in, stat, edit. Okay? All right. What do the numbers in the slope represent in the context of the problem? So 50 is my rise. And on this side, that's what's telling me, that's how much I'm increasing in my profit. So the 50 tells me my profit's increasing $50 for every, my run is my X value, for every the number of haircuts is 3. So this means I'm rising, or this means my profit increases by $50 for every 3 haircuts. So every 3 haircuts, she makes an extra $50 to put in her pocket and go have fun with, okay? Excuse me. This says, what is the x-intercept? Well, x-intercept is where we cross the x-axis, and that's this point right here. When we said that point is 12, 0. And it says, what do the values of the x-intercept mean in the context of the problem? Okay, so when we're at 12 haircuts, 12 is the number of haircuts. So when we're at 12 haircuts, how much money are we making? Are we making in profit? We're making $0. So why are we doing 12 haircuts but not making any profit? Well, it took 12 haircuts for her to pay all of her bills. Okay. So the first 12 haircuts, that pays all her bills. And then after that, she's making extra money to put in her pocket. So my x-intercept is the number of haircuts it takes to pay all the bills. Okay. So the reason it takes 12 haircuts is first we got to pay all our bills, right? So she knows every single month, okay, in order to maintain my booth, I got to cut at least 12 heads, 12 hairs, 12. She has to do 12 haircuts, okay? Okay, she has to do 12 haircuts every month to just pay the bills, okay? Once she's got her bills paid, then all those other haircuts, if she has 50 haircuts a month after 12, that's a whole lot of money she's going to be making to go play with and go out to eat and go to the movies and do all her fun things, okay? All right, so then we have, what is the y-intercept? Well, the y-intercept is where we cross the y-axis. So right here, this is 0. My x value is 0 on the y-axis. My y value there is negative 200. So what does that mean? What is my y-intercept? So that means I made 0 haircuts and I started out with negative 200. So this means that she's starting out in debt $200, right? So that means every month she has $200 worth of bills. So the 200 represents the amount of bills that she has, or in this case, it specifically talks about rent. So we would say the amount of rent that Adrienne has to pay. Okay. So let's do another problem, the bathtub problem. Billy Bob has an ancient bathtub that drains slower than the Dickens. He filled up his tub and then let the water drain to see how long it would take to drain. The graph below represents the number of gallons of water remaining in the tub and the time in minutes. So gallons of water, time that has passed. So Billy Bob's got a lot of time on his hands. He's going to sit there, let his tub drain, let all the water drain out, and he's timing it to see, okay, how long does it actually take for all the water to get out of my bathtub? Okay, so how many gallons of water are in Billy Bob's tub after 6 minutes? Well, X value is my minutes, so I'm going to go to 6 here and then go up, and I see there's 12 gallons. So after 6 minutes, there's still 12 gallons of water. And I'm going to say 12 gallons because we know what that is. We know it's gallons. We're going to use the units. All right, now we have, what is the slope of the line? Well, this is increasing by 2s and increasing by 1s this way, so I'm going to pick 2 points. Let's see, where's a nice point? Okay, well, here's a point, and there's a point, so we go up by 2, so 2, 4. I rose 4 over, and I ran 1, 2, 3, and these are actually 1s, so 4 over 3, and this is definitely a negative slope. So my slope is 4 over 3. Again, I could have picked 2 points, created my table, stat edit in the calculator, okay? Whatever is easiest for you to think about. Just pay attention. These were increasing by 2s, not 1s, okay? So it's negative 4 over 3, not negative 2 over 3. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, negative 4 represents the number of gallons in my tub, and 4 represents the number of gallons in the tub, and 3 represents minutes. So this means it's negative, so it's going down. So, my goodness. So the amount of water is decreasing by 4 gallons, right? 4 is my number of gallons. That was my Y. 4 gallons every 3 minutes. So it's taking 3 minutes for 4 gallons of water to drain. What is the x-intercept? My x-intercept's where I cross the x-axis, so that's at 15, 0. And then what does that mean? Well, 15 is, I didn't mean to drag that. 15 is the number of minutes it took to get 0 gallons. So this means it took 15 minutes to completely drain the tub. What is my y-intercept? Well, my y-intercept's up here, so where I cross the y-axis, and that's at 0, 20. 0 is the number of minutes. 20 is the number of gallons. So at the very beginning, before he pulled the drain to time, how much water did we start with? We started with 20 gallons of water in the tub. There we go. Interpreting slope and intercepts. Okay. So it took him, he's got a 20-gallon tub. That's how much water he had in the bathtub. It took 15 minutes to drain all 20 gallons. Okay. So the next thing we have is slope and intercept practice, which is this over here. And you can work on this assignment. I'm going to do a couple problems with you. And there's an exit ticket. You're going to do the exit ticket as your grade, okay? Make sure you're doing all of the exit tickets. Those are the grades. Okay, so the function below shows the cost of hamburgers with different number of toppings. So here we have a function. What is the y-intercept and what does it mean? Well, if we remember, let me think, what is the slope? What does it mean? Okay, so if we remember, our equations are normally written as y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. So here, my y-intercept is the thing that doesn't have the variable with it. So here my variable is t, not x. Okay, so there's the mt, and my b is my y-intercept. So that means it's 190. And what does it mean? Well, let's think about this. We have an equation, and the function shows the cost of the hamburger with different number of toppings. So t is going to be our number of toppings, and that changes. It's going to change the price based on how many toppings I have. So $1.40 t means that I'm going to pay $1.40 per topping. So $1.90 is the starting price of my hamburger. So $1.90 is the starting price of the hamburger, my goodness, with no toppings. Don't put toppings on it at all. That's going to be my starting price. So if I just get a plain old hamburger, no cheese, no ketchup, no lettuce, nothing, $1.90. What is the slope? Well, my slope is the thing that's with my variable. So that's 140. And what does that mean? Well, my slope is telling me, or that's telling me how much, let me back up a step. T is the number of toppings. If I'm multiplying the number of toppings by 140, and I can increase the number of toppings, I can decrease the number of toppings, but I'm always multiplying it by 140, then 140 is telling me how much I'm paying per topping. So this is price per topping. So if I get lettuce, cheese, and tomatoes, then that's 3 toppings. I have to multiply that by 140 and then add it to $1.90. And that tells me how much I'm going to pay for my hamburger. All right, so now we have, if Jody paid $3.30 for a burger, how many toppings were on Jody's burger? Well, this is how I want y'all to do this. I want you to come over to Desmos. Desmos is awesome. It does all the things for us. In Desmos, I want you to type this function. F of t equals 190. F of t equals 190 plus 140 t. And it says, oh, I did this backwards. Never mind. Don't do that. Ignore that little tidbit right there. Okay. Okay, so she paid $3.30. That means that's the total amount. So that's going to be on my F of T side. So we paid $3.30 and for the whole hamburger, and I want to solve to figure out T. So this is what I'm going to do. 30T. So I have this equation. I'm going to solve for T. So I'm going to switch over to using my draw tool. I'm going to solve to get T by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 190 from both sides. So that's going to be 0, and I'm going to be left with 140 T on this side equals, let me grab a calculator, 330 minus 190 is 140. Then I'm going to divide by 140. So that means 140 divided by 140 is 1. I'm just going to be left with T equals 140 divided by 140 is 1. So she got one topping on her hamburger, and it cost her $3.30. Okay? All right, so I'm going to let you guys do number 2 and number 3 and number 4. Let me see. Yeah. And then I'm going to do one of these with you. All right. Dion pays, that's it, just those, yeah. All right, so Dion pays a fixed fee plus an hourly rate to rent a boat. The table below shows how much Dion paid for the boat. What was Dion's hourly rate to rent the boat? So how much was he paying per hour? Anytime you got a table, do stat edit in your calculator. So I want you to open up your calculator. Okay, so his rate, whenever you see rate, you want to think slope. I'm going to clear my calculator really quick. You want to think slope, okay? So that's what we're trying to find. What is the slope of this table? That's what we want to know. That's all it's asking. I don't really care about all the other, hourly rate and stuff, or what's actually happening in the problem. It's asked for rate. That means slope. I got a table. Stat edit. I can get slope. Okay, so stat edit. L1 is going to be the top line. L2 is going to be the bottom line. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I messed up. 2, 3, 4, 5. L2 is going to be 27, 39, 51, 63, 75. And then I'm going to do stat, go over to calc. I'm going to hit number 4. I'm going to do enter all the way down until it takes me to the next screen. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for slope, right? It says hourly rate to rent the boat. So my rate, anytime I see rate, I want to think slope. Let's go ahead and type that on there. Let me use my little thing here. Rate means slope. Okay, so anytime I see rate, I want to think slope. When I'm looking at my calculator, this is y equals ax plus b. Remember, that's the same thing as y equals mx plus b, and m is my slope, so a is my slope. So how much is he paying per hour to rent the boat? He is paying, let me write this. Dion is paying $12 per hour to rent the boat. Anytime I see rate, I want to think slope. Stat edit in the calculator, especially if you see table. A is your slope. He's paying $12 per hour. Okay? So I want you guys to do number 6. If you have questions, please let me know. After you finish this assignment, you need to come back over here and do the exit ticket. The exit ticket's going to be your grade. All right? If y'all have any questions, please reach out and let me know. See you later.